we do Deadpool, well, we get to find out what this gun really does.
Alright, well, I guess the ball's in your court. Let's go.
So, welcome back, campers, and welcome to the Deadpool review. Shall we give them a quick synopsis?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Basic story is that Deadpool becomes Deadpool, and in the midst of all this, his girlfriend is kidnapped, and he must go save her from the asshole who turned him into a monster, more or less.
Yep.
In the process of becoming a monster, he also gained, the ability to heal from anything.
Yeah.
Including the fire that set him free.
Mm-hmm.
So, while also doing this, he also teams up with Colossus and Mega Teen...
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna butcher the name.
Mega Teenager Warhead... Mega Sonic Teenage Warhead.
That
Mega...
was it, yeah.
Got
Mega
it.
Sonic
Got it.
Teenage Warhead, yeah.
And he teams up with these two in particular, and they kind of slowly coerce him to try and be more hero-like, although...
Yeah.
He's kind of set in his ways.
Yeah, they really want to make him into an X-Men, so...
Well, he kind of does become an X-Men once in a while.
Right,
so...
yeah, so...
Something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
So... Basic plot synopsis, because it's a very basic plot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where to
Yeah.
start talking about this movie?
Okay. Well, we can start with all the supporting characters, because there were a lot of them, and a lot of them were really good. There's, like, the bartender,
Oh, yeah, the bartender guy. I'm not
yeah.
sure if he's actually part of Deadpool's background or not, but he was a really interesting guy, and
Oh,
he had some hilarious moments.
Yeah, he has some good lines.
The whole insulting Deadpool to his face about how nasty he looks.
Oh, yeah.
Believe me, we got a short snippet of how much he goes into Deadpool on this.
Oh, yeah.
He goes on. There's like several jokes and extensions to the already previously seen jokes that we don't get to see until that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just... Yeah, that was a good scene.
He's also kind of the pseudo backup, and until like the big final battle, and he's just like, "Yeah, you're on your own because I don't wanna." We get to see Al a little bit. Al is a longtime Deadpool character. She's technically his butler, more or less, depending upon which version of Deadpool. But in this case, they're just slumming in a nasty house in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently, like, yeah. The relationship between her and Deadpool is definitely interesting. Like, they just give each other shit a lot, so it's...
And that's how they know they love each other.
But it's good. It's all in good... Yeah.
Jokes about crack and cures for blindness.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and she's actually the one that gives him the idea for the red suit, too. So.
Yeah, she corrects him on a lot of his early costume ideas, too.
Yeah. Who else?
I guess, Sonic Teenage Warhead.
Yeah.
She's an interesting one, because I've heard a little bit of background about her. She barely gets used at all in the comics.
Yeah, I was gonna say she didn't get a ton of lines there, but she had some good sequences though. So.
Oh, she's great in this movie, but the thing is, even in the comic books, she was barely around for like more than a few months before there's a reason to get rid of her for a while.
Huh. All right.
I mean, a long while at a time.
Okay.
She's hardly around, so it's actually kind of nice to see a character who doesn't really get much chance to show how good she can be, and just literally go and hand her a third of a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Oh, and I love the chemistry between her and Deadpool because he's giving her shit about being a millennialist and how they act to like our generation of Xers and so forth, and just the shit that they can give one another.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's constantly ragging on Deadpool for being so goddamn old.
Meanwhile, he rags on her for just being this pessimist piece of shit, and finally gets her to open up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and Colossus, like the design for Colossus, I thought it was pretty well done.
It's the closest they've ever been to what Colossus actually looks like, and it sounded like a Colossus should.
The accent was pretty good, so.
It was pretty much spot on from even the X-Men cartoons in the 90s, which is where I judge every Colossus from, because that was the heyday of the X-Men, essentially.
Right.
Because some people don't realize this, but the 90s cartoon was actually a collection of stories that ranged from the 80s up until just about the point that they started making that cartoon.
Right.
And making little enhancements in order to ease the plot along. And Colossus was introduced, I want to say, within the first half of the first season.
Okay.
You just see this guy who's trying to help work around this junkyard, and people try to strike and force him out of there, and they try to actually attack him, to which he turns full metal and knocks the shit out of them like they deserve. Because fuck them. He was just trying to have a job, man.
Yeah.
And Colossus tried to steal that show almost every time he was on. He was the great, silly, straight man, big brother type.
Yeah, that definitely came through in this movie too. So, yeah, and don't forget to eat breakfast.
Here's protein bar, good for bones.
Yeah.
Why is there only ever two of you? It's like someone cut a budget to this movie or something.
Such a big mansion.
Such a big mansion with so few people in it. And tell Beast to stop shitting in my lawn.
Yeah. Yeah, they reference Beast, they reference Wolverine, they reference several,
They reference Xavier several times just because you could mock a guy with a big bald head.
Yeah. So yeah, like, they didn't appear, but they got their shout-outs, so.
Well, that's, again, because at the last minute, apparently, according to the production of this movie, they lost a shit ton of money to wherever Phauxe decided to divert the money to.
Yeah.
Because Phauxe just didn't feel like this had any legs, so they cut even more money, so the scriptwriters got more and more clever every time.
Yeah. They made do with what they had. I thought, yeah. The script ended up pretty good. The humor was the timing was good on the humor, I thought.
So, the bad guys.
Yes, Francis. Yeah.
Francis. You will never hear the name Francis, because what is his name?
Yeah.
And Deadpool literally spells it out with dead bodies.
Yeah.
Francis.
Yeah, I like Francis. His sidekick, that woman, I don't remember.
Angel.
Angel, yeah.
They keep calling her Angel, although she's not Archangel, the main X-Men I know of. But apparently she has been around, but I've heard that she's a little bit souped up than normal. But then again, you have her fighting Colossus. You kind of need to.
Yeah, I know.
She may be a B-list villain, but this is probably going to be her one movie appearance anyway, so why not give her a good brawl?
Yeah, I mean, other than the brawl, she was kind of forgettable, so at least she had that going for her. So.
Well, that, and she also happens to have this bad oral fixation where she chews on matches, and because of that, Deadpool was able to escape, so...
Yep, so that came into play, so... But yeah, other than that, I don't know, I felt like out of all the characters, she has probably developed the least out of all of them in the movie. But...
Yeah. And then there's the little throwaway reference characters. Hi, Bob.
Oh, yeah, Bob. Jackson.
I had to tell him about Bob. Most of the fans out there know about Hydra Bob. They couldn't call him Hydra Bob because, first of all, he wasn't working for Hydra. And second of all, they don't actually own the rights. At least not Phauxe doesn't own the rights to Hydra, so they couldn't actually mention it outright. But... literally, Deadpool looks at Bob and just goes, "Bob, is that you?" how's the wife and kids doing? And that wonderful casserole she makes, and knocks him out and pulls him aside so that way he doesn't get hurt. Because Bob's awesome. Yeah. Even as a villain, he's an awesome guy.
Yeah. What I really liked about the scene is, like, it rings true. Like, you run into somebody, like, they haven't seen in years, and you just want to smack the crap out of them, and... Still try to be nice, but you have to be nice. But you have
to be nice, but at the same time, I can't let you get in the way, Bob. Boom!
Yeah.
Sorry, Bob, nothing personal, just gonna put you aside here, not gonna let you get hurt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I gotta pick up that.
That was a reference that will zip by like half the people's heads, and the other half will just go, "Oh my god, they mentioned Bob." It's just like mentioning Howard the Duck. Right. Some people will know it, and others just... Yeah. You right over the head. I think it's over my head. I catch it. Oh, the references we can make now. The Deadpool costume looks awesome, by the way. I think at least the eyes were digital for sure on that costume. Yeah. It had to be.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get those eyes as expressive as they are in the movie.
Right.
And I think I have seen where they at least head up to here in actual costume, and then they had dots on his face so they could animate the face in later. Which, to be honest, is the best way you can do it.
Yeah.
Without it going Green Lantern.
Oh, let's not talk about Green Lantern. If you saw the trailer, you're pretty much saw the movie.
Well, you saw most of the basic plot points of this movie. Oh, you mean the Green Lantern?
Yeah, Green Lantern. Like, no, seriously, like the best parts of Green Lantern were in the trailer, and that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
At least poor Ghost Rider can say better about himself.
Yeah, but
I mean, they didn't use everything, but despite their flaws, at least that last one wasn't completely god awful.
Right. Oh, but yeah, so... Yeah.
So, yeah,
what else?
The Deadpool jokes. All the dinosaurs hear the T-Rex. It's just my go-to right now. I've always been a bad T-Rex, and that... Literally, the entire joke is based around Deadpool breaking his arms while trying to punch Colossus, because he's just really fed up with Colossus at that point.
Yep.
Because the guy he was been after for about a year just got away.
Yeah.
And it's mostly due to the fact that Colossus was annoying him at the moment.
Yeah, he was distracted.
And so he literally broke both arms and a leg trying to punch and kick Colossus.
Yeah.
And he says the T-Rex line with both arms broken, and then tries to kick Colossus and breaks his ankle.
Yeah.
And what was the other joke as he frees himself?
Oh, yeah. Ever see the movie 127 Hours?
Spoilers.
Yeah.
He cuts off his hand, with his hand giving Colossus the bird, while his blood is also spilled on Colossus's face.
Yeah.
And then leaps off the bridge into a trash bin. Into a trash truck, rather.
Yeah. And of course there's some good jokes that came from that too. So I'm trying not to give anything away too much. But.
Yeah, there are other bits and pieces. Anyone who knows about the Merc with the mouth knows what he's capable of.
Yeah. Yeah, and plenty of like fourth wall jokes. Which
it even gets to the point it even gets to the point where there's a fourth wall joke about going to the fourth wall.
Yeah, fourth wall.
It's like we broke like 16 walls at this point.
Yeah.
And that was just a joke just to mention who Al is and get more reference about her.
Right.
Which is kind of funny in of itself. So, very adult humor.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Plenty of blood and gore.
Yep.
Very good action sequences.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't have a nitpick other than the fact that they need to bring a little more plot to it next time, because for an intro to what Deadpool is like and how he became, this is perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's a good origin story. Like, I'll give him that.
But it's going to require a lot more of the next outing, which is also why I'm hoping that they bring in Cable, because if nothing else, we can at least introduce Cable and what the hell he's on about.
Yeah.
Spoilers, he's the son of Scott, Cyclops.
Ah.
He's from the future where Apocalypse won.
Okay.
So they're already kind of working towards that.
All right.
And as you heard at the end of the movie, they threw out some references of people they'd like. I wouldn't mind Hellboy to be.
Oh, Ron Perlman? Yeah.
Ron Perlman to be Cable, because he just looks the part automatically.
Yeah.
Just give him a flat top and make him shave his beard a little bit. Perfect. Oh, and also give him a fake scar with a glowing eye.
Oh, yeah. Well, that could be done.
that could be easily done. Ron Perlman would be my number one A choice. They mentioned a few others, including a female actress to play Cable.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Which, by the way, with the way that Deadpool acts around women, that's gonna bring
interesting.
That'll bring some very new, very interesting chemistry between Deadpool and Cable.
Yeah.
That could flip a lot of things on their heads. So that could be kind of funny too. Don't drop the humor. By all means, bring in a little more plot and keep up the bloodshed.
Yep.
And you'll do fine. Also, don't let the Phauxe producers dictate what you need to make for the next movie, because I worry that they're already preaching out too many R comic book movies now all of a sudden.
Okay.
Because they're already pushing out Deadpool as another rated R. Deadpool 2 is obviously going to be another rated R movie.
Right.
They want to put out X Factor, which is a sort of tie-in because Deadpool also becomes a member of X Factor, which is a splinter group of the X-Men.
Okay.
And they're also talking about a rated... rumors, at least, have been spreading about a rated R Wolverine standalone movie.
Huh.
Which, while that would work perfectly with Wolverine, I kind of worry a little bit of them pushing out too much R.
Yeah, it might be oversaturation after a while.
Mm-hmm. And not to mention all the Deadpool knockoffs that are going to be coming out after this, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because,
And by the way, the people who own the rights to Ghost Rider, I think it's back to Marvel and Disney, but I'm not entirely sure. But whoever owns the rights to Ghost Rider, for the love of fucking Christ, make it a rated R movie next time.
Yeah, just reboot it. Just start over and...
Find some charismatic dude who could do stunt driving really well, or looks like he could do stunt driving, and just start over. Don't fuck with the story so much. A guy who deals with having a curse put on him by Satan by doing a dumb, bad deal is not that shocking to people, for Christ's sake. And throwing supernatural villains at him would actually be the best thing.
Right.
Especially if you give them enough interesting villains. Or would probably be the best, original Ghost Rider villain. He's a guy with a giant helmet that's an eye, but it has, a laser beam and shit, and he can also do hypnosis.
Okay.
That's essentially his main things. And the main reason he hates Ghost Rider is because he got into an accident while challenging Johnny Blaze at a stunt ride. And the stunt left him, the accident left him with a severely burnt and scarred face. It'd be, essentially, it's challenging Johnny Blaze at his own level. With a guy who also has slightly more gizmos than he would, and then all of a sudden, Johnny Blaze has been cursed with the Ghost Rider, so throw that right back in his face. And see what happens. That would be at least a somewhat decent origin for him, but...
Right.
Up to them. That's my idea. Then again, I'm a huge Ghost Rider fan, so... You won't know it by the fact that I have a ceramic Ghost Rider up there.
Right.
Some Ghost Rider freaking lead figurine with a book about his origins. The fact that I do a vlog series on him every week. Or the fact that I just finally unleashed him on Marvel Heroes because I've been saving for a better part of a year to unlock him. I don't play it as much as I have been lately, which is why it's taken so long. And just recently I finally got enough shards. The shards are essentially the paid currency that does randomly drop in-game. So if you run from 1 to 60, more than likely you'll at least get enough for a random drop, but I was saving them for a really prolonged period of time and even played with a few other characters just to help out. But yeah, I got Ghost Rider, and thanks to Ozzy Arcane, who randomly gifted me a classic Ghost Rider costume too, by the way. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna have to save up after the convention and get a classic Ghost Rider costume. You just got a gift. Holy shit, okay, thanks! Wasn't expecting that, but sure, I'll take that. I'll run around as classic Ghost Rider in his 1970s getup.
Yeah.
It's essentially a blue biker suit with a big chest square on it from the belt up. But anyway, Definitely not one for the kiddies unless you think your kiddies can handle it. I would also supervise them if I were you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, a very good movie.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you have any reservations about it, don't do it, or at least see it first, and maybe...
And make judgments on your own.
Right, yeah.
If you think your kids can handle a bit of adult nudity here and there, and some very tongue-in-cheek, dark, adult humor jokes, then sure, maybe your kids will be fine. I've seen clips of Predator and Friday the 13th about the age of 8 never scarred me.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much about it. Very good movie. Can't wait to see the sequel. Can't wait to see Cable. And that's it for now. See you all next time.
Ciao.